Okay, here we go. I'm going to change gears now. Children of God, did you know that we haven't been back to the moon since 1972? And when I say we, I'm talking about the United States. I live in the USA. Think about that. We haven't been back to the moon since 1972. How come? How come? I mean, why do you think? Do you know that is almost 50 years? That's 50, 50. Let me tell you why we haven't been back to the moon since 1972. Because we've had a black budget, underground, super secret space program going back to the early 1950s, possibly even the late 1940s, by the way. That's correct. Our space program is getting close to being 80 years old. And that's why we haven't been back to the moon since 1972. Have you ever wondered, what does NASA actually do every day? I mean, they're employing thousands and thousands of people all over the country, paying their salaries, which probably come to tens of millions of dollars every month. What do they do? What is NASA doing? I'll tell you what they do. They do absolutely nothing but lie to us, deceive us, and trick us. The entire purpose of NASA is to cover up the secret space program. That's what NASA was built for. That's what NASA is designed for. And that's why we haven't been back to the moon since 1972. And by the way, some of the moon landings were fake. The ones that you saw on TV were all fake. If you don't believe me, NASA has admitted it. They have publicly admitted that they hired Stanley Kubrick to film the fake NASA landings. They have admitted this publicly. Now, I made videos about this before, but this is a friendly reminder that NASA has not been back to the moon since 1972, and most of that was fake anyway. It's almost been 50 years, and that the black budget secret space program in the USA dates back possibly to the late 1940s. Do you realize that is 70 years old? Can you imagine what they could be doing in space the last 70 years? Not only building outposts all over the planets and moons, not only building domes where they can pump in oxygen to breathe, not only building electrical systems, power supplies, and factories. In 70 years, you could have built 100 cities out in space. You could have traveled beyond our solar system and moving men, women, families, children, and babies past our solar system to brand new planets, star systems, and moons that we have never heard of, that you and me are never going to see, at least while we're a human being here on Earth. Can you imagine what could be done in 70 years? Let me give you an example. Look how much the United States has grown since 1948, which is 70 years ago. Look how much bigger we are now. Look how much more advanced we are now. Look at our metropolitan cities. Look at our state-of-the-art skyscrapers, buildings, factories, electronics. Do you realize this is exactly what they're doing out in space? They could be so far past our solar system, moving people there, building colonies, building cities, using space-age technology that surpasses the Star Trek and Star Wars movies. Yes, surpassing Star Wars. Just a friendly reminder, I remember hearing from Bill Schneebelen how we're 20, 40, 50 years in technology past what they tell the average U.S. citizen. I want you to know now that I've been learning in some areas of technology and science, the rumor is that they are 1,000 years beyond what they tell the U.S. citizens. I want you to think about that. They're 1,000 years past, beyond. And they're using some of this technology here on earth for demonic, evil purposes. But I also believe, and I also feel that I know that they're using this out in space. I want you to know they are not working on colonizing space. They have colonized space. Only God knows how far out in space these secret space programs have gone and are colonizing and building. And I want you to know they are not going out in space to push the kingdom of God, and they're not colonizing space to lead people to Jesus Christ. No, no, no. They are out there in space colonizing different planets and different moons for very sinister reasons, very evil reasons, very demonic reasons. And I would not be surprised if the higher-ups, the men and women in charge of the secret space programs all over the world. By the way, it's not just the USA with the secret space program. Many, many countries have spaceships. Many do. I wouldn't be surprised if these most high-ranking men and women who are actually in charge of the secret space programs work hand in hand with demons, physically speaking, talking to them, sharing ideas back and forth with them, getting their instructions from the demons, seeing them face to face, getting their orders, getting their commands, getting their blueprints, getting the science. They have to be working with the demons face to face. They absolutely have to be. I want you to know, as I say goodbye, this has been going on 70 years now, and Nazi Germany was working on this years and years and years before the United States. So yes, the Nazis are out in space colonizing moons and planets. You better believe it. Okay, and these are a lot of the reasons why NASA has not faked another moon landing.